All right, going live here, guys. Just getting everything up, so I've got a little monitor here. I can see what's going on. Squeeze right in. We got a lot of stuff to unbox today. This is going to be a fun one. As I waddle into place here, I haven't given myself a whole ton of room to work, but we're gonna make it a big success. I can feel it. All right. Whew. Lots of stuff to look at here. I've got notes so that I have my upcoming dates. All right. Alan in Northeast, what's up, bud? Already in the chat, bright and early, right on top of it. All right. While people are joining us, while we're getting rolling, I'm going to do a little not really unboxing of some stuff. I have a couple pieces of my merch here that I wanted to show off that I'm really excited about. There are a couple new things I've had at the merch table. The first being my my 3D printed custom Perry Von Vicious figure. You've seen me painting these here on the channel. Doing a nice close-up on that. Gonna see how that looks on the screen here. Really proud of how this turned out. And you know, you can see on the back the writing Vicious. You know, a lot of detail on this. I'm gonna even get it even closer and see if I can get it to focus up there, show the face a little. Pretty excited with how this whole thing wound up looking. So yeah, just super excited. It's such a unique thing to have on the merch table. So really psyched for that. I'm gonna set it over here with, I'm down here in the corner of the workshop. You can see my 3D printers back here. So you know, from whence it came, there it goes. Let's see, was watching Zelina Vega's stream when your notification came up. Hey, you know, I know there's a lot of competition in the Twitch world. So then I have a couple trading cards. These are new. This one was a, I'm gonna again give a little bit of a close-up here. These are from the Pro Wrestling Grind Emerald Sword event that just happened. Everyone who was in the main event got one. They are in the style of some tarot cards. And this art was done by Yofi Stark on Twitter. And they are a very talented artist, and I'm so excited with how this turned out. I actually think it's kind of like two pieces of merch in one, because you get the trading card, and when you look carefully, I'm wearing my Human Monster Truck t-shirt. So you sort of get two graphics at once, which is pretty cool. All right, set this over here. And then this is the Pro Wrestling Grind trading card series. This is the Perry Von Vicious card from that set. You can see I've got a monster truck in the background. The art on these is by Jack Purcell, who is East Hampton native and an artist for DC and Marvel Comics, which is really cool. All his info's on the back of the card there. Really psyched about how these turned out, and people seem to really like them. He's got a whole series for all kinds of indie wrestlers, and most of the Grind roster is going to be covered in that. So yeah, very psyched to see how those turned out, and happy to be part of that collection. All right, that's all the stuff of me that I need to get out of the way. I do have a whole bunch of stuff to kind of take a look at here. So I'm gonna jump. Oh wait! We got some action in the chat. That was the card I asked Dave for last time he saw you. Just what he was referring to when he said he forgot to get it for me. Ah, well, I'll have it at upcoming shows. I might as well read off what I have left. I don't have that many left before I take off to Japan. Let's see. So this Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be in Hartford. Not really an appearance where you can come see me. Friday, I have a media event for the Bigfoot Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Tour. I'll be taking part in that. It's a closed media event. And then Saturday, I will be attending the evening show there in Hartford. Going with a couple of friends. The tour was kind enough to hook me up with some tickets, so pretty psyched for that. Then we got Saturday, August 26th. I am not performing, but I will be in the house for Limitless Wrestling. Big main event match, big title match, Rip Bison versus Beef. It's Rip's last chance at that title before we leave for Japan. I've been there every time he's challenged for that title. I was there the first time he attended a Limitless show. You know, I insist that I will be there if and when he wins that championship, so I'm going to be there. The very next day, Sunday, August 27th, I will be at Blitzkrieg Pro at RetroCon down in Hartford, Connecticut. Not sure what I'm doing there, not sure who I'm wrestling, but it will be a singles match as Rip is unavailable that day. Then, just a week later, Sunday, September 3rd, Pro Wrestling Grind at RPM Fest in Turner's Falls, Montague, Mass, whatever you want to call it. It's right down the street from where I grew up in Greenfield, right down the street from where I live in Deerfield. Gonna be a great time. The crowd there was electric last year, and I'm really looking forward to it again. That is my last wrestling date before I leave for Japan. The last thing I'm doing before I leave to Japan is the Franklin County Fair in Greenfield, Mass, September 8th through the 10th. They will be having live monster trucks every day of the fair, free with entry, so I am going to stop in and check that out. And then, on September the 11th, I board a plane and I am off to Japan for 3 months. Very excited. Very excited. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to what we're about to do here. We're going to get into some more unboxing. I'm gonna lean up and get a look at the chat here for a sec. Speaking of Saturday, Sucks Blitzkrieg got postponed. Thankfully not canceled, but it got moved to Sunday, the week after. Oh, that's the week after your 22nd birthday. Happy early birthday. I hope the show lives up to the occasion. Get to start and finish that week with Blitzkrieg Pro, because the Holyoke show is the 14th. They're gonna have a very busy. That's October, I believe. That's gonna be a very busy October for them. I'm super psyched. I hope those shows are great. I'll be on the other side of the planet, but you know, Blitzkrieg Pro is one of my homes here in the States, and they always put on great shows. So super psyched for that. All right, so we're gonna get to some unboxing here. The very first thing we're gonna start with is from Alan in Northeast, who's in my chat right now. Alan is a good friend who comes to the shows and follows me on Twitter and interacts there. This is, I don't know if the scale is really being conveyed in the video, but this is like, you know, 20 pounds of Monster Jam trucks. I haven't picked through everything yet. Some of them are broken, some of them are busted up, and that's, you know, I'm the person to give those to, because, you know, all on the shelves behind me, there's monster trucks that I've cobbled together. Some of them were broken. I 3D printed new parts. Some were trucks that I bought specifically so I'd have the body, and then I could make a chassis for it because I wanted it to look a certain way. Alan in the chat says it's over 40 trucks, and I 100% believe it. I didn't dig through everything, but I did kind of poke around a little bit, and there were a few things I wanted to highlight. Thrasher here is actually in pretty good shape. You know, looks like this is one of the ones I was told just has some kind of bent up axles a little bit, and I can fix that pretty easy. Thrasher, of course, is a truck from the Northeast here, and used to come to the Franklin County Fair a few years when I was a kid. So one of my favorites, love to see them. I believe it was owned by the same guy that ran the Above and Beyond truck for so many years that came to the fair. So very psyched that that's there. Also, your camera just glitched, now the audio is ahead. Uh-oh. Well, tell me if it catches up, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to restart the stream. I'll keep an eye on the chat. But yeah, Thrasher, pretty psyched to see that in the box. Let's see, who were the other ones here? There was just the body from, not sure if it will. Uh-oh, uh-oh. All right, hang on. I'm gonna relaunch then. Stay tuned. Give me 1 second here. Doing the awkward crab walk over to the phone here. All right. All right, and we're back going live again. And we're gonna let this catch back up here. All right, still got everything good on my monitor here, and I'm sure Alan will hop back in a sec. But I'm gonna pick up sort of where I left off. There we go. Good. I'm going to pick up where I sort of left off here. Thrasher, super psyched to see that in the box because it was always at the Franklin County Fair when I was growing up. Again, I'll be seeing monster trucks there the second weekend of September, right before I leave for Japan. So throwback to when I was a kid. Then there was this Reptoid body. Very excited to see that in there because the body is intact really well, which means I'll be able to take some measurements and 3D print a chassis for this. Oh, I'm getting raided. I'm getting raided. Grizzly Kid 4 is raiding us. We got views coming in. All right, but yeah, psyched to see the Reptoid body in the box. Welcome, 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 welcome from the Grizzly crew. Let's see, I need to make a trip to the Franklin County Fair. Cheshire Fair is yours, yep. Thanks for the raid, good to see you. Good to see you guys. I'm doing a little unboxing. Right now I'm showing some highlights. This is a huge box of toys that Alan, who's in the chat right now, actually brought me just earlier today. Because I do all this 3D printing, I make my own trucks. I can take these busted up older trucks and I can restore them. I can make new parts for them, and that's going to be a project I work on. I'm only pulling out a few highlights because I got a bunch of other stuff to take a look at here, but this is one that really caught my eye. This is the Virginia Giant, sort of the more modern version, not the one I grew up on, but still very excited to see it in there because I don't have a toy of the Virginia Giant of any era, so very psyched to add that to the collection. Let's see, there was this one, and Alan might be able to shed a little light on this. This, as far as I can tell, is not a Monster Jam toy. It does say Hot Wheels on it, so it could be Monster Jam. It looks like it has some kind of little, like almost like a wind-up or a button here. I'm not totally sure what that is. It's unbranded for the most part. So, Alan, if this looks familiar and you can explain what this toy is to me, I'll keep an eye on the chat. And then there's, you know, this is, looks like this is a different era of Excalibur. I have some different ones of him from over the years. He was another one, a regular at the Springfield Civic Center when I was a kid. But yeah, this box is, it is massive. It's probably 25 pounds. And there's everything from trucks that are just some bodies to ones where the wheels have gone missing, like from this Avenger. There's some where they're missing a single axle, like on this Predator. And every variant, so I've got to pick through this at some point. You know, you can see sort of the skeletal remains of what was probably once, it could have even been the Reptoid that's sitting here. You know, it's hard to say, but yeah, super cool and very psyched to have that. Thank you so much, Alan. And yeah, I'm sure I will be posting online as I start restoring and kind of rebuilding these. Revenger's interesting with the body messed up somehow. Yeah. These are all pretty great. All right, I'm gonna set this out of the way. Again, that is a lot of toys in that. All right, so keeping with that theme, I have another box here. This was sent in by another fan who was kind enough to share a bunch of old, sort of broken, kind of strange toy monster trucks. The first ones I'm going to bring out here, some of you may have seen these in the past. These are from a series that was made by Hot Wheels called the Attack Pack. And they're all pretty unique because when you press on the back, they all have these sort of like animal attacks that they do. These ones are pretty beat up and don't really function the way they ought to. This one gets stuck, for example. But yeah, I'm gonna work to try to restore that one. This one's in great shape. This one doesn't need any work. Love this one. It's got the little toe, and when you pull it, his little mouth goes up. It's so cool. I love the little mutter tires on here with the sort of deep treads. And then this one's another one. It's missing the toe arm, so I'm probably gonna make a model of that in 3D printer replacement. And it also has this sort of vampire bat opening that it does. You know, it almost looks like something out of Beetlejuice, you know? Very cool, very psyched about that. And then also in here, there was this guy. Now this one was from, I believe it's, I can tell, it's from the Road Champs series from 1991. It has a little hole where there's a battery that's supposed to go in there. And it's definitely supposed to run. Hate to raid and leave, I gotta head to bed. Thanks for stopping by, Grizzly. Thanks for bringing your crew with you. Happy to have them. But yeah, this one has a spot for a battery. I put a battery and it doesn't seem to be working, but I think that's because there's an on-off switch that snapped off. But a keen observer will notice that it only has one tire. So in the early phases of my restoration projects here, I went ahead and in green filament, I printed some tire replacements that you'll see just slide right on. And yeah, pretty psyched that I'll be able to restore this. The colors don't match exactly, but it's such a unique and strange piece with green monster truck tires that I'm not really worried about it matching exactly. But pretty psyched that I was able to mock those up. And as you'll see in a minute, that's going to be key because there's a lot of these that are sort of missing tires. This is one from the Majorette series. It has a hood that opens up, you know, real metal kind of all around, and it's also missing a tire. So that's one that's going to take a little work. And then let's see, we got some more. We got some kind of strange ones in this that I haven't seen much of before, and that's pretty exciting to me. Now these, I believe, are, yeah, these don't even have like a typical toy company name. These are from the Lucky Company. Never heard of them before, probably never will again. A very unique look to these, almost like a Toyota body maybe. And yeah, again, missing some tires, so I'm going to have to do a little 3D design work there. And then, let's see, this one I think is, yeah, this is Road Champs. This is from, I believe this is a later one. Yeah, this is 1993. And yeah, missing one tire, but, you know, I have a few from this series, so I should be able to get some decent measurements on all the tires and mock something up. And then there's this guy, which doesn't have a company name on it anywhere. But it's very much in the same vein as the original Road Champs, I think it's 1987 Barefoot toy that came out. It's just this one's not branded to be a specific monster truck. So yeah, pretty excited to see all these come through from a fan who has asked not to be named. But very cool. Some of them are good project trucks. Some of them are just straight into the collection. And yeah, very excited to have those. They're all colorful and bizarre, you know, this thing. Cool to have those in the collection, and they're going to look great on the shelf. So I'm going to pack this away, and we'll continue on here. All right. So I had a mail call just earlier today, and I'm so psyched that this came. I have all of Weird Al's discography on vinyl. I don't have all the vinyl he's ever released. There's a few sort of rarities, singles here and there, some that are specific to certain countries. But there was one I didn't have yet, and that's because it was new. And that is, before I get into it, let's see. In my box, there was a Gunslinger body and a Scarlet Bandit body from the model is where you could attach and detach the bodies. Ooh, plastic chassis you could remove. Yeah, those could be a little tricky, but I think with the right measurements, I can probably make those work. But yeah, so it was. This is the last full-size record that's a full release that I needed to complete my Weird Al collection, and it is the soundtrack to Al's mockumentary biopic from last year, Weird: The Al Yankovic Story, starring Daniel Radcliffe, better known to most as Harry Potter. This is a great piece. Amazon did not do a great job shipping it. They had it all dinged up, but you know, I play my records and I listen to them, so I'm not going to let that kind of ruin it for me. But the art in here is fantastic when you open it up. There's some really wonderful stuff and a lot of great information. You know, they have information on all the different tracks and, you know, the art on the back as well. But one of the things that's really kind of stunning about it is the actual vinyl. I love that vinyl often comes in so many colors these days, and this one in particular is like highlighter pink. Like, it is so bright pink, and I think that looks so cool. That's gonna look great spinning on the turntable upstairs. Very excited for that. You know, again, I'm a huge Weird Al geek. I have every book, every record, he only has a handful of action figures and toys. I have all of those. I've been to see every tour since touring with Scissors in 1999. So having this to complete the collection for now until he has more, really important to me. Super psyched that that came. So I also collect vinyl of the Disney parks. I love the music of the Disney parks. I'm such a huge nerd for everything in those parks. And I, in particular, really like extinct attractions, stuff that doesn't exist anymore. They recently issued a vinyl from Adventure Through Inner Space. This is a ride that used to be where Star Tours is now, where they shrink you down to the size of a molecule and send you through inner space, through a human body. Really, really cool. And it has all the narration. And if it's not really apparent, this is the actual vinyl art that you're looking at. Like, really cool. Such like great retro futurism, and like the color scheme just spectacular. It looks so good when it's on the turntable upstairs. And it has the two sides. On the front, it has all the sound effects and all the soundtrack music, complete with the original narration from the ride, followed then by the song "Miracle" from Molecules. And on the B side, it has just all of the sound effects from the ride, no narration, followed then by a sort of instrumental, almost jazz version of Miracles from Molecules. Most people these days would know Miracles from Molecules as one of the instrumental tracks that plays in the background while you're in Tomorrowland. But yeah, just super psyched to have it. You can see on the album art, they have the Omnimover that you ride on the attraction kind of cutting across there. Those little details, just so cool. And yeah, that was a birthday present from my wife. Next, this is a real special piece. This came from Dave the Monster Truck Nerd, who I don't believe is in the live stream tonight, but I'm sure he'll catch it on YouTube. He's here most weeks. He and his wife went on down to the newly relaunched four-wheel Jamboree Nationals just a couple of weeks ago. And while he was there, he got the show poster, the show flyer here, signed by all of the monster truck drivers who were there. This is such a cool piece. I'm going to move it up a little bit closer here so we can get a little bit better view. But there's USA 1, Barefoot, a lot of the Triple B Motorsports guys. We got Kid Rarig, the original driver of Thunder Chicken, on there. And also we got Chris from Foul Play Motorsports on there, who has done some toy trades with me. I've 3D printed some things for him. And he sent me some really cool pieces for my collection. And obviously they told him exactly who it was for, because he did sign it. Thanks for the trades. So Chris, shout out. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's a Stomper, which is out again, Rampage out again. So a lot of the old trucks that have come back were there at this event, which is just so cool. And yeah, this now proudly lives on the wall with all the signed 8x10s of different monster trucks in my gym here in the basement. So yeah, I just took it down from the wall before we started here so I could show it off. But very excited about that. And yeah, now I'm looking for a very safe spot to set it while I finish the rest of this. All right, there we go. I thought through getting everything here, not where I was going to put it all when I was done with it. All right, so now I have a couple things that shipped to me here. Yeah, these I'm very excited about. This is one that I had put off for a little while, but you know, I mentioned before I have all the books about Weird Al, and recently his drummer John Bermuda Schwartz, who has been with him since the first live performance he did on the Dr. Demento show, doing My Bologna, joined the band immediately. He's been his drummer ever since. He's also become a bit of a Weird Al historian. He has boxes and boxes in his garage of ticket stubs and, you know, every manner of Al merchandise that's ever come out. He has basically one of everything, at least. And he was also a photographer. And a while back he discovered a bunch of undeveloped film from a black and white camera he had that was from a very specific set of about 3 years of Al's career. It might have been 5 years, 3 or 5 years. And so he released a book. He finally got the pictures developed, released a book of all never-before-seen photos from the early 80s, the early part of Al's career. That was called Black and White and Weird All Over. And I have that, and I absolutely adore it. His follow-up, he started going through all of his color film that had not been developed. His follow-up to that book is called Lights, Camera, Accordion. And I finally have received that as well. Very, very excited. This is Lights, Camera, Accordion, eye-popping photographs of Weird Al Yankovic from 1981 to 2006 by John Bermuda Schwartz. And you know, it's really just, I'm gonna just flip through and show a little bit of this. Yeah, you get some real early stuff. This is Bermuda and Al so early on in their careers. They're both so young. Al with his accordion, Bermuda with the accordion case that he drummed on when they would play. And you know, you have pictures like that, but then, you know, as you span a little bit further ahead, you have sort of the gruesome outtakes from the album art for Running with Scissors, my favorite Al album of all time. Maybe my favorite album by anyone of all time. And yeah, Al as young Obi-Wan from The Saga Begins. Just beautiful. And I haven't had the chance to really flip through here a whole lot just yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. Weird Al really formed a lot of my my knowledge of pop culture and music. And I'm so glad that later on in his career, and as I'm growing older and being able to appreciate it more, that collections like this are coming about, that things in his career being cataloged. So I'm really excited to look through that. So on a similar vein, and maybe with some of the coolest shipping packaging, the company Melodic Virtue, they've been working with a number of novelty artists typically, and one thing they've done is a series with the Residents. The Residents, of course. The Residents are a band that have been around since the early 70s, which is a very long time. They are still touring, still putting out albums. They have over 85 albums, maybe over 90 by now. 4 members in the band, allegedly. No one knows who any of them are, even after all these years. They've never shown their faces. They've never done an interview. They've always worn costumes. The most famous of which looked an awful lot like this. It's an eyeball with a top hat. That's sort of the iconic look that the band had. They don't really do that costume anymore. The masks are pretty heavy, and the guys in the band are, you know, in their 70s. So that's a lot to ask of them. But this is volume 2 of A Sight for Sore Eyes, which is sort of a visual compendium of the art surrounding the Residents through the course of their career. And, you know, it really does become... It becomes such an enveloping thing to look at because their art is so bizarre and so interesting. You know, the stuff they do is creepy and weird and totally sincere, but also like seemingly just novelty. And yeah, it's really fantastic. I saw them, gosh, a couple months back, and had a great time. It's the second time I've seen them. This is a very limited edition release. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I have number 713 out of 2,000. That is all they're making of this book. So very glad I was able to get my hands on one. I do have volume 1 as well. So happy to complete that. And again, this is something I am going to just pore over in my spare time. I draw a lot of inspiration from the stranger side of the arts, and I think the Residents are a key example of that. Here's some pictures of them clowning around with different variants of the eyeball masks, and yeah, everything from, you know, their album covers to their films to, yeah, to all. I mean, they have just such unique art. Homer Flynn from the Cryptic Corporation, who managed the Residents. Homer Flynn has been in charge of their graphic design throughout their entire career, and he does really fantastic work. It's kind of a dream of mine to have Homer Flynn do a t-shirt design for me, but I don't imagine that that'll ever quite work out. But hey, if anyone watches this, has a connection with the Residents, wants to put the idea in their heads, or their eyeballs as it were, I'd love to be able to commission Homer Flynn to make a t-shirt design for me. That would be just the coolest. So I have a few more pieces here, and yeah, I'm looking now at, this is, if you're not familiar with the Greenlight Kings of Crunch series, it is a really great series of monster truck toys that are hyper realistic. You know, when you look at Matchbox Superchargers or the more modern Hot Wheels, they're so sort of stylized that, you know, it reads as monster truck, but it's not really to scale in the way that these are. This toy, of course, is a Liquidator. Of course, I made a few little notes here. Liquidator, originally driven by Bob Fisher. This is one that would come to the Springfield Civic Center all the time when I was a kid. Oh, chat's coming alive. Let's see. I have a couple Kings of Crunch trucks that I brought back with me from buying them at a Walmart in Wyoming last winter. I went to a Walmart in Indiana this past fall, and I was able to pick up Black Stallion and Wildfoot, which is very cool. They're really great, and this Liquidator is fantastic too. Like I said, a regular at the Springfield Civic Center when I was a kid, which means super important to me. And I am going to open this up so we can get a closer look at it. Let's see. Also in this particular series, they had Mopar Magic, Desperado, Bigfoot 11, Dream Master, and Lone Eagle. So, and this is, I believe, this is series, gosh, this is like series 11 or 12 at this point. They've done a lot of these. I have a few on the wall. Here I have an AM/PM Boss, a Bigfoot 5, and I have a few more in the boxes down here, but this one in particular I had to have because he was just such a regular at the little shows nearby when I was a kid. And yeah, we're gonna open this up. I meant to bring a knife over with me and completely blanked, but you know, I have a history of not being great with knives on the live stream. So gonna stick with my 3D print clippers here and see if that gets us through the shell package. Yeah, super excited to have this. You know, the Kings of Crunch are not easy to find out here. You know, I mean, frankly, our Walmarts, our Targets, really don't update their toy sections very much. And I think it's just because we're in a more rural area. There's not quite as much stuff here. So they feel like, there's not that many people buying. Really kind of a bummer. Although, as you'll see in a minute, I did have some successes here over the last couple of weeks. I might walk off camera and grab a knife here. Let's see. Yeah, Mopar Magic. You got to look up the whole series. There's some really good ones. I know they had a super realistic USA one that I have put away somewhere. All right, yeah, I'm gonna grab a knife right off camera here. And then we will continue with our unboxing adventures. There we go. It's one of the nice things about filming this down in the workshop. I don't have to go far to get what I need. All right, got the dollar store knife. We're gonna get this guy open here. All right. There we go. Now we're moving. Taking a trip to Keene later this week. See what they have. Yeah. Believe me, I've got a few things I'm looking for that I'm going to mention in a minute here. That I'll want you to look for if you're hitting some Walmarts in the area that are a little bigger, because yeah, the Ninja Turtle series, they recently started re-releasing the old toys, and there's a few that I need. And there's a few I have here that we're going to take a look at. Very excited to see those in stores. You know, a few things. Really, if you were to meet me at age 7, there are things that I was into then that I'm still super into now, and monster trucks and Ninja Turtles would be at the top of that list. All right. Don't you love these packages? They're the best. Pro wrestler. I throw human beings like they're nothing, but you stick a plastic package in front of me and I'm struggling on camera for 5 minutes. This is good TV though. This is what people tune in for. Unboxing videos crush on YouTube, so, you know, it's probably just as well. All right, we got the backing out of there. There we go. Now he's free. All right. Put the trash out of the way. And that's our little Liquidator. I'm going to get it up nice and close to the camera so we can get a good look at it here. And it's so, the proportions are so realistic. It's really kind of crazy. In fact, I'm going to grab, while I'm right here, I'm going to grab a Matchbox Supercharger. And from the collection that was sent by Alan, I'm going to grab a Spin Master, and this could be no, this is Spin Master. I was going to say it could be as early as the Hot Wheels era, but yeah, we have here, this is the original Matchbox Supercharger toys from the 80s. We're going to compare that to the Kings of Crunch here. And you can see, so cartoony and so silly, and then so realistic. And then similarly, the Spin Master, your Monster Jam toys, are a little more realistic, but when compared with a Kings of Crunch toy, there's really no comparison. Which one looks more like a real monster truck? So, pretty crazy. Yeah, the Hot Wheels era was pre-Spin Master. Now they have the Hot Wheels that work with Bigfoot, who I'll be seeing on Friday. I'll be visiting with the fine folks from Mattel and Hot Wheels, and also visiting with the folks from Bigfoot while I'm there. So pretty psyched for that. All right, I'm gonna set those out of the way. But yeah, that Liquidator toy, very cool. Very happy to have it. Really sort of completes an image from my childhood. I'm slowly collecting the toys made of the trucks that appeared at the Springfield Civic Center when I was little. Liquidator, UFO was one that was a frequent there. I mean, Virginia Giant would be there. Certainly Black Stallion was a regular. Excalibur. So yeah, slowly making my way towards having the trucks I saw in person that didn't have toys when I was a kid kind of all reappear. All right, and now we're getting into, I've been waiting to open these for like a week and a half. I found these at a Walmart in, it was Eastern Mass. Went out to the beach last Monday, and on the way had to stop in, grab something to munch, and happened to stumble upon some of the newly reissued original Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. So psyched to have these. These are really exciting for me because a lot of these are toys I didn't even have as a kid. In fact, when I was little, I'm pretty sure the only of these that I had was Krang. And I'm so excited to see these re-released and be able to have the weapons and everything. And I am going to pull them out of the box because I don't really get a lot out of having the toys in the box, and I have a bunch of loose upstairs with my primary collection on display. I have Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo. I have April O'Neil, but she was a tag sale find and does not have any of her accessories. I also have Usagi Yojimbo, the rabbit from the series, who does not have any of his weapons and is missing a small piece of armor. And then I also have Bebop, the pig, and he doesn't have any of his weapons either. So to address those, I will be 3D printing replicas of all those parts to complete those toys. I also have an Ace Duck. The Ace Duck is going to be a little complicated. He came with a lot of stuff. He came with a bandolier that held egg-shaped hand grenades. He had a funny little laser blaster. He had a hat that didn't come with the toy that I had, so designing that's going to be a little complicated to get it sit just right. And then he also had a pair of wings that clip into his back. All of that's going to be complicated but fun to make because I don't feel the need to have a complete original. I just want to have it look the part. And if making something for it is how I get there, I'm happy to do it. I think that's fun. To me, that's, in a lot of ways, that's how I play with the toys as an adult, is sort of refurbishing them and saving them. But yeah, I am gonna go ahead and get these open. I'm so psyched for this. And I've been told that these do kind of tear up nice and easy so they don't wreck the boxes too bad, because the art on these is really fantastic. So, you know, I'll probably hang the boxes up somewhere down here in the basement. I'm gonna give have me looking at Kings of Crunch on eBay. It's a deep rabbit hole because they've had a lot in different scales. You could look at those forever. I am very excited about these. I'm going to let you get a little bit of a closer view here because the art on these boxes is recreated to look like it did when I was a kid. Very sort of comic booky. You know, a lot of different sort of action shots of the character. And on the back, of course, we have our lineup of, these are some of the re-releases that they have coming out. You know, you have Bebop, Rocksteady, Foot Soldier, Shredder, Krang, Leatherhead, the 4 turtles with their storage shells, and Splinter. That's what's in this particular wave that came out. So yeah, again, I can't really say enough how happy I am to have these to add to the collection. Yeah, and I am going to probably hang this up down here somewhere because again, I can't. The art on this just feels like my childhood. These toys were everywhere. They were at the small department stores in Greenfield where I grew up, Ames and Riches. They were in CVS. They were in Walgreens. They were if we made it to a toy store like a KB or a Toys R Us, they were there. I can remember seeing them all the time, and yeah, just seeing the art completely recreated is almost kind of emotional for me. You know, even when you look across the top on the back here, I love the way that this sort of is the story of the Turtles, complete with you know, a lot of art that is sort of very reminiscent of the comic book. And if you didn't know, the comic book is local. It's from the area. The Ninja Turtles were created in Northampton, Massachusetts. Mirage Comics launched in Northampton. And yeah, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman together created the Ninja Turtles practically up the street from here. So, you know, it's almost like a local heritage thing for me. All right, so I'm gonna clip the pieces holding this in place here so that it's all free. All right, that should, I think that ought to do it. We'll know in a sec. We'll clip them on the back too. Really free everything here. This is the part where I start to make a big mess. I am gonna have to upgrade my display shelves upstairs before I leave for Japan because I don't have space for more toys up there. But I had to have them. I had to have them. This is the weapon set that comes with Rocksteady. He's got a looks to be like a machine gun, a sewer lid complete with a handle that he can hold, and a great big Bowie knife. Yeah, very very cool. I'm gonna leave those on there for now. And then oh, is he twist tied in place? Oh, he's got a twist tie under his belt. I didn't notice that he was held in place by anything, and that's because the twist tie holding him runs underneath the belt that he's wearing. So it's very very much hidden. All right, let's see if the package will give him up here. There we go, nice and easy. Yeah. All right, so I know that a lot of these toys, some of them had soft heads, some of them had hard sculpt heads. I'm not totally sure what they did for the new re-releases here. So this is my first time. Oh, it's like a hard head. Okay. Well, that's good because that means it won't, anyone who had the original Bebop and Rocksteady toys knows there was a lot of discoloring that happened. And that was because they were soft heads. But yeah, oh man, this is great. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a close-up here so you can kind of see his belt here with the sort of turtle shells on him. And you know, his helmet, everything about him. You know, this is such a huge part of my childhood to have the villains to go along with the Ninja Turtles. So very excited to have that. I'm gonna clip his toys off of their sprues too. Give him a couple of his weapons to hang on to. Cause that's the mood I'm in. That's the mood I'm in. I don't get to play with toys often. I'm often too busy to have that kind of fun. And nope, today I'm gonna have a little fun. All right, let's bend this one off here. There we go. Oh, this is so weird. This feels like such a part of my childhood. This is 7-year-old Perry in 1992 pulling these toys out of their packages. Ah yes, Bowie knives. The things you learn when you watch Forged in Fire on the History Channel. Yeah, man. That's one of those things as you get older, you start to appreciate those shows a bit more and learn from them. When you're a kid, it's just the boring stuff that Dad watches. But yeah, let's get him standing here. I'm gonna give him the sewer cap shield here because I think the Bowie knife and the sewer cap shield are really the cool parts of what he has. I'm not all that interested in the machine gun. Although I certainly am not getting rid of it or anything like that. Yeah, there we go. One of the nice things about having the little sprue nippers here from doing my work with 3D printing. Real clean for removing parts like that. All right, let's get that in your hand there. There we go. Spin that out. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Heck yeah. I mean, right, what a classic piece. This is so great. And it looks so good. He's going to look great along with the Bebop that I have upstairs. You know, his partner in crime, literally. I have a Bebop upstairs. He was a thrift store or possibly a flea market find. No weapons with him, but I'm going to 3D print those because there are files online. All right. Next on the list, this is one that I've wanted for a long time for my collection, and I'm so glad they re-released him. This is Baxter Stockman. This guy is sort of the giant fly. He accidentally mutated himself trying to find a way to recreate what happened with the turtles, and wound up turning himself into a big fly. And yeah, he comes with a bunch of accessories. I never had this one as a kid, so I'm real excited to get a look at everything. Let's get a look. We'll get a look at that art. I know I've got quite a glare happening here, but the box art looks really great on this too. Again, these are pieces that I will absolutely hang on to. I always, when I was a kid, I would always, it says clip and collect, and it's sort of like a little trading card of the figure. Always kept those when I was a kid. Real interesting stuff to read on there. You can, yeah, it's basically like the back of a trading card. Portrait of Baxter Stockman, the bungling, bug-eyed, wicked winged scientist. And then it has vital facts like his height is 3 feet because he turned himself into a bug, so he shrunk. Favorite sport is soup swimming because he's a fly. Just fantastic. And then there's a whole story about how he wound up how he is. Now, one interesting thing about the back of this that I'll point out. So this has a different set of toys that are in the release than the last box, because this is a different wave. You can see on there it's still the 4 storage shell turtles. You got Splinter, and then there's Genghis Frog, and Wingnut and Screw Loose. That's a little 2-pack. Kind of. One of them's kind of a partial figure. And then you have your Foot Soldier, Shredder, Krang, Leatherhead, Bebop, Rocksteady. And then there's additional villains. There's Baxter Stockman, who I have here, and Rat King. Now Rat King, you'll see right here, Rat King did not end up getting released. So he's on the art as one of the figures, but they did not re-release him. So yeah. No Rat King, I'm afraid. When I'm done opening all these, I am going to talk about which ones I'm still looking for, because I am definitely still looking for some. I'm going to try a different way of opening this one just to see if it's a little easier at all. I'm going to try just running the knife around the edge here to sort of protect the art on the box. Something I've seen other collectors do online. Oh yeah, this is much better. Oh yeah. All right. Just about ready to pull him out of the box here and see what he looks like. Here we go. We'll come over to where we already got it started. There we go. All right. That's just about got it. Just a little cut there. There we go. Yeah, man. You need to be stubborn. Box is trying to get over on me. All right. So, yeah, that looks real nice. That's a keeper. I'll probably end up doing that on the other one and glue the little bit I tore back together. But yeah, this card is just so cool looking. Like, I know it's gonna glare a lot on camera here, but like the art on that is just fantastic. So yeah, that's definitely going up on the wall down here in the basement somewhere. All right, let's free Baxter Stockman from the confines of his cardboard prison here. Get in here with our nippers. Get that one. Got that one. That might be it. He might be free now. Yeah, I think so. I think now it's just, yeah, there's a bottom section here. Aha, one around his foot. Oh, wow. Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that. All right, well, let's get his accessories out here. All right. Oh, so cool. His extra arms and wings. Oh, man, you know, it might just be that this was such a huge part of my childhood. I don't know. But there's something about this era of toy that's just so fun and so weird. Like, I can't imagine carrying a sculpt of this into a toy executive and saying, parents are going to want to buy this for their kids. Like, that seems completely unrealistic. All right. Let's see if we can't get you out of your plastic prison, buddy. Oh, and there's one piece holding his arm in, because of course there is. Aha! I'm going to have a lot of trash cleanup to do after this. All right. Baxter Stockman. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is pretty cool. You can sort of see on his back here, he's got this whole little indentation here, and that's for his other arms and wings. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how those go on exactly. Make sure I've got them attaching in a way that looks right and makes sense. All right. Oh, that's so cool. Slides in real easy. And then you got his arms kind of out here. Ah, he looks so cool. Like, that is such a great figure. Like, what a cool sculpt. And the paint details really look good. All right, let's see if we can't get him holding his I need to pull his cardboard back up. I don't remember what his weapon. Oh, his weapon is called the Turtle Swatter. Of course it is, because it does look an awful lot like sort of a high-tech fly swatter. And when you look closely on it, up on the swatter there, I hope it's going to come through on camera, there is a small turtle that he appears to have swatted. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's give him his swatter here. Even though I don't trust him with it, he's definitely up to no good. All right, let's clip those wings down in place there. Unless they go like, oh, I guess they go the other way around. All right, that makes sense. Oh, there we go. Wow. Wow. Just so cool. And then we'll see. I know his figure in particular was sort of notorious for not wanting to stand. But I'm going to see if I can make it happen anyway. There he is. Ah, so great. I mean, honestly, do toys get a lot cooler than this? Like, maybe it might just be because it's exactly my era, but just so great. Oh, you know, looking up at the camera, I just realized I'm wearing the Residence shirt that shows exactly their iconic look I was talking about before. All right, we're going to put Baxter Stockman and Rocksteady right there. And we're going to move on to Krang. Now, Krang is just a sort of disembodied brain. And so he has sort of two ways he got, well, three ways he got around in the cartoon. One was this sort of small little, it's like a TV tray with a helmet with moving legs that he's sort of in here. Then he would also slop on the ground and kind of pull himself with these little sort of tentacles that he has. And then he had a great big android body. The android body, I'm very excited. Someone did model all the parts for it. So I will be, Baxter refusing to stand. Sounds like something, yeah. Right, there's some WWE figures that do the same thing. Not like old Pear Bear. Perry'll stand. Perry's hard to knock over, really. I mean, you wiggle the table, he'll go. Hey, I'm to scale with the turtles. Sick. Oh, I gotta make like an old school 80s action figure commercial for the Perry figure and for the Rip figure and include the turtles since I have a whole bunch of them. But yeah, we're gonna get this Krang open. We're gonna get a good look at him. This is titled Portrait of Krang, the Bodiless Burbling Brain. He's described as having a height of 1 foot 6 inches because he's just a brain, and a weight of 17 pounds soaking wet. And anyone who watched the cartoon and heard the sound effects of him slopping across the floor understands why they would say wet. All right, I'm gonna get him cut out of here so that we can get a better look at the packaging. Yeah, this little dollar store knife really earning its pay tonight. Worth every bit of the dollar I paid for it. All right, keep you going around here. There we go. Come on. I'm going to knock all the toys over sawing on this package. All right, now we're moving. Yeah, some of the parts of the package are real easy with the knife, and then other parts are a little trickier. There we go. All right, get the outer shell off of there. Put that down in the garbage pile. Get this off of here, and we'll get a closer look at this packaging because, again, I can't stress enough, the art on these is just fantastic. It's so representative of what would draw me to toys like this when I was a kid. You know, there's so much detail kind of worked in of character design and everything, and of course it is the more modern version, so I believe this logo is a little bigger on the new packaging, and certainly the Nickelodeon emblem would not have been previously included because Nickelodeon didn't own the Turtles until about a decade ago. So I'm going to set that aside. That's just so cool. All right, and we are going to figure out how we're going to get Krang out of here in one piece, which is interesting because he is literally in multiple pieces. So... all right, there's one leg free. There's another leg free. And I think that should do it for Krang and his little ha-ha. So cool. So this has got to be super weird just watching this great big wrestler who's usually throwing people around just absolutely geek out. But I feel like on the live streams I do a lot of geeking out, so... I feel like anyone who watches these is going to be pretty used to it at this point. All right. So we're going to pull out all the extra parts. These all go on his little body. Wow. This piece is so flexible. Like, that's so well made. All the rest of these are sort of mold PVC. This piece feels like rubber. It's so, like, perfectly bendy. And that's going to be important, and you'll see why in a second as I start to sort of assemble this figure the way he's supposed to go together. Let me get a look at the back of the box and sort of cheat here. Right, okay. So, we got his two arms that kind of attach to the figure here. I want to say on this. Yeah, there it is. All right. Getting them all situated here. And then this hose plugs into his little, he's got a little gun that appears to have like almost sort of a plunger end on it. I don't know if it's supposed to be bent quite like this. I think it's supposed to be more straight, but that's how it was out of the box. I'm gonna assemble it and then worry about if I need to straighten something out later. It definitely looks a lot straighter in the picture on the back here. So, this plugs in onto here. Ha, look at that, there it is. And then this goes into this robot hand. And this comes over into this robot hand, and he just kind of holds the other end here. At least that's how it is on the picture there. So yeah, this is definitely a little bent, a little crooked, but that's all right. Yeah, so he's got his little legs that are adjustable and walk here, but he also has this shell that opens. Yeah, I'm going to bring this a little closer to the screen so we can get a better look here, because there's a lot of detail on this little figure. Yeah, he has this shell here, this sort of almost like astronaut glass that opens. And that's Krang. That's him. And his arm, his little tentacle arm things here, they move. But that's so much great detail on this little figure. His eyes glowing yellow, just like in the cartoon. You know, he's such a disgusting little villain with his little fangy teeth and everything. Really great, and I always loved this figure as a kid because it was gross and it was weird. You know, there was a lot of Turtle crossover with some other properties, Toxic Avenger, you know, some Usagi Yojimbo. Toxic Avenger doing crossover with the Turtles always felt right because there's something inherently gross about the Ninja Turtles. You know, giant amphibians that, you know, roam around barefoot in the sewer. Like, there's something gross and gritty about that. And having a villain that was basically a sloppy, evil brain that had little robot pieces that it lived in, it just felt right, you know? All right, let's put Perry out in front here. Move this weapon out of the way, and we're gonna slide Krang up. I'm actually gonna readjust these so that everyone's still in frame here, because this is what we're all about here. All right, and the last piece, this is your, you know, I wanted to see what the weapon that Krang had was called. Oh, it's the Brain Drainer. That's right. That little gun you're supposed to put that plunger piece right on top of a good guy's head and suck their brain out. Shredder here. Old Shredhead, the #1 villain, the bad guy leader. Old Chrome Dome himself, Shredhead. Height 6 foot, weight 200 pounds. I'm glad to know I outsize him, but I know that he always felt smaller than that. And I do know that because he was supposed to be tall, they actually had to do some weird things designing this figure so that he would fit in the blister pack. If he was to be to scale and he was to look the way he was supposed to look, which was actually rather slender for his size, he would not have fit in the blister pack. So they had to design him in a pose where his legs were very bent and he sort of hunched over doing this kind of evil ninja pose as they saw it in the 80s. And it made him smaller for the packaging. You can almost see him in some of those poses on the package here. I'm going to get him open and then we'll take a closer look here. Let's see if I can saw this open without sending all these figures falling to their death. All right, blade way out here. This is the last one I've got. And then I can talk about what I'm still looking for and some of my plans for 3D printing some of the ones that aren't being re-released, because I'm not all that worried about having an actual original. I just like the design and the look of the series. You know, I want it to feel like it did. And to me, 3D printing a replica, just as good to my mind. I know that's not how most people collect toys, but you know, I'm not most people, I guess. All right, there we go. Got the outer shell off of here. Put that away. It's done its job. Yeah, and let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this art of old Shredhead, looking mystical and mysterious and evil. You know, you can see sort of in, I think it's, yeah, in this corner here, we have that sort of pose that they were designing so that he would fit in the blister pack. And you can just, you know, again, they do such a great job of setting up the character and the way they design all of this. And we got the back of the packaging here. And, you know, it really does. It warms my heart. Warms my heart that they went way out of their way to make these look the way they did when I was a kid. You know, that means a lot to me. One thing I didn't realize when I was a kid is that they designed the weapons for the ninja characters. Your Splinter, Ninja, the turtles themselves for Shredder. They designed them so that part of the packaging for their weapons was a weapons rack that you can actually, it stands on its own and you can lay the weapons across it the way a sword rack works. To me, that's super creative, because you have to have sprues holding all of this together. So to design it so that it's also a display when you take it apart means you're wasting less plastic and you get an extra piece for essentially for free. Like, really cool. Let's see, did you ever consider 3D printing Monster Jam truck bodies of trucks that were never made? Examples being Mopar Magic, Escalade, Monster Energy, and others. I definitely would. The bodies are particularly hard because they're very thin. you know, I can show on the Reptoid that that was gifted to me by you. You can actually see these very thin walls here. That can be really tricky to 3D print, just because of how the process works on the actual printer. Because I would want to do this in resin, because resin printers are a much higher quality. Especially it's a better finished product. The process is every layer goes down, gets cured, and then gets pulled away from the bottom, and then goes down, and the next layer gets cured, and then it gets yanked away. And every time you do that, there's a great deal of pulling pressure on it. And as a result, it can be very difficult with thin pieces where it will want to sort of warp their shape. All that said, it's not impossible. You know, certainly I've done it in the past. Yeah, right behind me here. Right behind me here I have the original PVV monster truck, where the body definitely printed out okay, but I had to do it solid. And it being solid means that I couldn't put it on a frame the way the Monster Jam trucks work. That's not to say that it's a problem I couldn't fix. And even then, printing the frames is not impossible. I would just need to do a fair bit of work, and I think that it would be very cool. The body would have to be printed, and then you'd have to get decals to put on. Oh yeah, absolutely. The decals and the paint jobs would definitely, they're complex. Reptoid being a great example of that. Yeah, they definitely are. That said, decals are easy enough to make. Bodies can be airbrushed pretty easy. I have a pretty good airbrush kit that I use for some projects, so not impossible. But yeah, let's get old Shredhead out of the box here. Get him freed. Okay, that should be all that's holding his weapons in place, and we'll get the weapon rack out here. Got to be careful with it because you don't want to bend them. But yeah, I'm gonna hold this up a little closer so we can get a good view. There is a whole weapons rack here that all of these parts will rest on once they've been removed and the sprues have been cleaned up. And you can see it sort of has some angle pieces on the back here, and that's because it will, in fact, just stand, which is great. Like, how cool is that, that you can have all of their weapons just sort of displayed on a rack? Really, really neat. And again, those come with Splinter, those come with the Turtles, those come with Shredder. Like, great design. All right, and let's finish freeing Shredder from his plastic cage here. All right, I think that's everything. I think he's only got two points that are holding him in. There's a leg. There's a body. All right. Shredder's on the loose. Look out, Turtles. All right. Shredder, of course, comes with a real cloth cape, which is so cool. It does hide a little bit of his gear, but let's get a look at it first. Just, it's such a complete picture with the real cloth robe, or the real cloth cape, and the cloth really closely matches the color on his gauntlets, which is really great. If I move the arms up here, we can sort of pull it back and you see the legs with his armor. I've only started to realize that a little bit of the way this armor looks has definitely leached over into some of my design of my own entrance gear. I'm not sure what that says about me. But yeah, this cape is removable. If you take his belt off, you can take the cape off and put the belt back on, and suddenly he's you know, a bit of a simpler character. But yeah, I watched an interview with the original designer of the toy where he was saying that this wouldn't fit in the blister pack, and that was a big problem. So he had to design him in a way where he was kind of posed and small, and it basically just meant that he's impossible to get to stand. And I'm experiencing a little of that now, and we'll see if that's actually the case. Wow, yeah, he's gonna have a hard time standing. Not impossible, mind you, but very difficult. Wow. Yeah, he is not designed to stand, because that's about where they're flat. Well, maybe he can. Oh, yeah, he's trying to fall over if I do that. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's how he goes. All right. Yeah, even then, he's he's still fighting me. You know, this is the joy of when I was a little kid, is you didn't really stand them up all that often. You played with them and bashed them into each other and put them into the many vehicles of the Turtles. I would love to collect all the vehicles from the Turtles. I had the Turtle Cycle with the sidecar when I was little. And they have re-released some of those. Yeah, there he goes. Just fix his cape a little. And yeah, I'm gonna look on the back and see which weapon they don't even have him holding a weapon in his display. I'm gonna leave him just like this for now. But you know what, I'll take the sword off so I can show how this this display rack works, because it's such an ingenious little bit of packaging that I definitely didn't know when I was a kid. I didn't pay close enough attention. You know, I was ripping them out of their package. I wasn't cleanly, carefully doing anything with them. Yeah, and then I'll lose the little nubbins here. All right, and you'll see, I think you'll even be able to see it if it's this far back. I'm just gonna let the stream catch up to me and see. Yeah, there we go. So this sword then can just go right across. Oh, Shredder's taking a dive. He's out of here. The sword can just go right across the rack here, just like that. Which is like, what a great design element to be able to just display their weapons there. And Shredder died. You know, I'm just trying to help the Turtles. That's why I'm here. But yeah, to get a little bit of a closer view on this, like, yeah, it's literally a rack that'll hold all of them. And some of these little nubbins are for these little the little ninja stars. They just go right on those. So it'll hold all the weapons, like, to display them. I think that is just so cool. And again, something that I completely missed when I was a kid. All right, Shredder will never stand again. There's not a chance. I'll just put him behind Krang so he's kind of leaning on him a little. But yeah, this is those are the guys. I'm pretty psyched to have all these figures in the collection now. Even more psyched to learn, kind of by mistake, that my Perry is basically to scale with them. That somehow feels very right. I wonder, this is now it's just turned into everyone come watch me play with toys. Yeah, there we go. That's what we needed. I already designed my thumbnail for this, but I might have to redo it because this kind of rules. Yeah, this is that's what you want. Perry gorilla pressing Shredder. So yeah, that's been unboxing live with Perry. Perry's an honorary Ninja Turtle. Yeah. I got him up in the gorilla press. Classic Perry. I just this past week, Rip and I were at a triple threat tag out for a Pro Wrestling Super Show. Rip did the double stack, had 2 up in the fireman's carry, and I gorilla pressed someone and chucked them into the whole pile. Those clips will be coming out before you know it. But yeah, super psyched about this. Very happy to have these in the series, and I'm just gonna mention, if anyone watching this on YouTube, on Twitch, anywhere, watching it live, watching it after the fact, happens through a Walmart or a Target, that seems to be where this series is the most. I am currently looking for and interested in Leatherhead, the Foot Soldier, and Splinter. Those are the 3 I'm most interested in. I've been on the fence about Wingnut and Screw Loose, as well as Genghis Frog. They're incredible looking figures. They're beautiful pieces, but I try to be really discerning with which toys I collect from the series, because I want the ones that I remember from the show. I want the ones that meant something to me as a kid. And I feel like if I just start collecting everything they put out, I'll lose all control completely. So I don't want that to become the case, but it's possible I may end up picking up the Genghis Frog and the Wingnut and the Screw Loose, just because. But yeah, Leatherhead, Splinter, and the Foot Soldier, those are the ones that I'm still currently looking for, and I wish I could find. If you stumble across them, please let me know. I know that they're pretty inexpensive in stores right now. Yeah, so I'd be psyched to find those. Anyhow, that's been it for unboxing with Perry. Yeah, I hope you like this kind of a change in pace for the stream. You know, sometimes I'm 3D printing, sometimes I'm gaming, whether it's monster trucks or wrestling. Sometimes I've got some toys and records and books to open up. And you know, I don't buy a lot of stuff for myself, but when I do, I think it's worth sharing with everyone else because I get a lot of joy out of them, and I hope you did too. Again, upcoming dates. I'm going to run through them real quick before we close out here. Flipping through my notebook. This Friday, I will be doing a media event for Bigfoot Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live. That's going to be awesome. I'm going to be taking in their show Saturday in Hartford. Going to be a lot of fun there. Saturday, August 26th, Limitless Wrestling in Maine. I'm going to be there supporting Iron Rip Bison in the main event for the Limitless Wrestling Championship against Beef. That's going to be a great match. Those two have incredible chemistry. I wouldn't miss it for the world. The very next day, Blitzkrieg Pro at RetroCon in Connecticut. That is August 27th, a Sunday. I will be there. I'll be wrestling. Rip won't be able to make it, but Pear Bear's going to be there kicking some butt. Sunday, September 3rd, RPM Fest, Pro Wrestling Grind presents Metal Gods. This is the send-off show for myself and Rip Bison. It's our last wrestling appearances before we leave for Japan for 3 months. Very excited for that. Can't wait to see everyone there. And then Franklin County Fair, September 8th through September 10th. They're going to have monster trucks every day. I'm going to pop into at least one of those and check it out because I just got it. It's right up the street from me. And then September the 11th, Monday, September the 11th, I board a flight and I leave for Japan. I am so excited. Follow Kyushu Pro Wrestling. I believe Q Pro, should find them on Twitter. Follow them to keep up with whatever Rip and I get up to while we're over there. In fact, follow them anyway. They have some incredible talents over there. Mount Aso. They've got Ryota Chikuzan. They've got Tajiri is a regular there, and the head trainer. Baten Baru is an incredible talent. I'm looking forward to mixing it up with all of them, and they are worth looking up and following. Check them out. And until next week, it's every Tuesday, 9 p.m. I will see you then on my Twitch. Until then, watch my Twitter, watch my YouTube, watch me live. I've been Perry Von Vicious. Let's get a close-up. Let's get a close-up of the mayhem. Perry going into business for himself. Baxter Stockman and Rocksteady and Krang, they can't do anything to help All Shredhead because Perry's got him. All right, catch you later.